Hey everybody, Jake here, and today I want to take a look at a different kind of fountain pen. This is just a kit pen with custom-made wood. A kit pen is just something that a small pen manufacturer can purchase online, and then they make the material for the cap and the body, and that's that lovely mustard yellow wood that you see here. I picked this up at a local flea market. I have no idea what the pen manufacturer's name was, or not manufacturer, but the guy who made the wood. I don't know what his name was or anything like that. But I figured we'd go ahead and take a look at it since I'm kind of short on stuff to review at the moment. So let's go ahead and go over some specs. Alright, first things first. The overall closed length is about 142 millimeters. So it isn't a huge pen when closed, but it's reasonably sized. Alright, and next up we have the length of the body without the nib. This is going to come out to 101 millimeters. So this is short. That cap does not post very deeply, and as a result this is very short. Speaking of which, that cap is 54 millimeters, and the nib is 19 millimeters. Now when you do post this, it becomes enormous. It comes out to 162 millimeters overall. So we're going to jump into some size comparisons. Alright, so here we have it against the Lamy Safari, the TWSBI 580, TWSBI VAC 700, and the Platinum 3776. You can see it's closest to the 580 in overall closed length. So while not being a very small pen, fairly middle of the road. It's kind of, shorter than the VAC 700, a little bit longer than the Lamy and the Platinum. But that'll give you kind of an idea, roughly, a bit better than measurements will. I'm just going to do open length. So you can see when the cap's removed, it becomes a much shorter pen. This is a lot closer to the Platinum now, with the current uncapped length. It is now dwarfed by the Lamy and both TWSBIs, and it's almost problematic. It's just short of, no pun intended, just short of being a problem for me. Let's go ahead and do posted length. So posted, it gets back into the game, so to speak. You can see it comes up to about the same length as the Lamy, which I consider way too long. And with the sheer weight of this pen, which I have no idea what it is, but the weight of the pen and the weight of the cap, it becomes super back heavy when it's posted. And that's problematic for me, at least. I can't use this pen posted whatsoever. It dwarfs the Platinum, which is a good posted length. And for one last size comparison, get some assistance from Scary Terry here. So this pen is about 2 Scary Terrys long, depending on the height of your Scary Terry's hat, whether it's been pushed down a little bit that day or not, but usually about 2 Scary Terrys. Jump into what I like. First thing up is this nib. Regular run-of-the-mill IPG nib. I think it's somewhere between a medium and a broad, but it's a pretty good nib. It writes very, very smoothly, surprisingly. And again, between a medium and a broad, so it's going to put down a pretty thick line. I would probably consider it a wet medium because it outputs a lot of ink. But it's a very smooth, actually nice writing experience with this thing. Exclusively talking about the nib. Next thing up that I like is the aesthetics. This pen is so ugly that I love it. This is probably hands down the ugliest pen I've ever seen. It's this hideous, hideous wood, but it just does it for me. Next thing I like, and last thing I like really, is the magnetic posting and capping. It posts and caps magnetically very strongly. It posts securely and don't have to worry about it coming off or anything like that. Going to the neutral. First thing in the neutral is the size and the weight. Now, uncapped, due to the section, which we'll get to in a moment, I do have to hold it kind of strange, so it comes out a little short. And while we're at, actually, then the last thing, other thing I feel neutral about really is the section. It's extremely short, so you kind of have to grip it at the body. But this pen's very hefty for the small size that it is, and posting it, it's unusable. So the uncapped length, as you can see, is very, very short in my hand, and I don't really enjoy writing with this pen, just referencing just the feel in hand due to that small section. On to the dislike. First thing up's the aesthetic. I hate the way this pen looks. It looks stupid and gaudy, and I would be embarrassed to let anyone see me with this. With this yellow mustard wood and the rose gold trim. And I really like rose gold, but it's just gaudy here. It's terrible. Next thing up is the clip. This clip sucks. If you lift it, it will stay in that position until you push it back. This will not hold anything in your pocket. It'll hold the pen at the top of your pocket as long as you don't bend down or anything like that, but that's about it. You can see it's kind of hinged there. So when you lift up, it just stays there. You can push it back down. Next thing up is the fit and finish. Where the wood actually meets the metal in this pen, it's terrible. The tolerances are super bad. I'll show you some more of that at the end of this little section here. But the wood sticks up, or it's too short, or it's just bad. Speaking of fit and finish, the last thing I dislike are the loose threads on this pen. You can see here it is a cartridge converter, for the record. But where the threads actually screw into the body, they become loose very, very easily. And I'll find myself picking up the pen and it twisting in my hand. And the same thing with the back cap here. Blind cap sort of thing. But it just becomes loose at very odd times. It's ridiculous. Go and do some close-ups of the fit and finish for you. So you can see here, the wood just comes up over the metal. It's kind of poorly built, to be honest. But at this price, I wasn't expecting much. It's about $30, I think. And you can see it's really bad right here near the clip. That's definitely the worst spot. Under writing sample. So again, the pen writes very, very smoothly. I do apologize for my handwriting, a bit cramped here. It writes very, very smoothly. Again, kind of between a medium and a broad. But it's a very good nib, surprisingly. I'm actually kind of shocked at how decently this nib writes. I really wasn't expecting much. I'd heard a lot of horror stories about kit pens, and I really picked this one up on a whim, so I wasn't expecting very much at all. Also, for the record, this ink here is Bungbox Ink of Witch, or Ink of the Witch, depending on how well you trust their translation. I have a review up of it as well if you're interested in taking a look at it. Very nice, very dark purple. But very smooth nib. I really don't have that many issues with it once I get it writing. I have had some hard starts. It dries out very quickly. And you can actually get a decent amount of line variation out of this thing if you push it a little. Regular line with some pressure, as you can see, it puts down a lot more ink. It doesn't really flex. And reverse writing. So, on to the conclusion for this. It's not a bad pen, but I wouldn't pay that much for a kit pen. Again, if you're interested in a kit pen, if you can get one fairly cheap, try it. But these companies that are making like $90 kit pens, don't buy that. Don't get a $90 kit pen off Etsy unless it's just too beautiful for you to pass up like this one was for me. But it's not a terrible pen. The writing experience is good, but it feels bad in my hand. It's heavy, and it's just unattractive. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep an eye out for upcoming videos, hopefully on time this week. Thanks, guys.